What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and today we are going to be doing a few little things on the GMC Sierra. I know that I told you we were going to be dropping that thing, and we are, but I've still got a few little pieces. I'm doing some suspension stuff at the same time, so not only the drop, but guys, it's got 200,000 miles on it. So I'm waiting on a few other like upper ball joints and stuff, but you'll see that in a video coming very soon. I think they're supposed to be here this week. But anyway, I've got a few things here that I wanted to put in here, two of which I've already had, but I've been soldering, guys. I'm going to put a double din radio in it. It's one that I've had around here for a minute. And so it's actually still made. It's a Pioneer, I think it's like a 160 BT. Yeah, there it is, right on the side. I want Bluetooth. That has a single din in it, and so I wanted to put a double din since those trucks will take a double din. I actually even think we may be able to use the dash component that's in there because it's got a pocket under it, but we will see about that here in just a second. Other than that, what I have been soldering is this is a access, and I'll list this in the description. So what this allows you to do is keeps your bells. So like when you turn your turn signal on, that actually plays to the radio. So that guy right there is a speaker for that. And then like, you know, your chime warnings, if you leave the lights on, you open the door, that stuff will play through here. If you, like right now it's not playing, so I'm assuming somebody, I'm hoping didn't chop up the radio. But this also allows for steering wheel radio controls, which is another reason why I wanted to use it. That's what this piece is right here. Now, guys, look, this does not have a steering wheel radio control on it, but I do plan to add it later. And so in order to make that work, we've obviously got to have the adapter for it to get the signal. So hopefully that makes sense. And I'll try to explain more when we get to that point of adding that steering wheel. So either way, so those two things I want to put in, right? You got to have this to put the radio in, but I also have been struggling with some of the switches, right? I don't know if the door lock actuators are bad. I actually think they are, but I got new GM switches. So I got, they're actually separate driver and passenger unlock buttons. I got a new mirror button. See that guy there, which you'll see in a second when we plug it in. And then I got a new window switch for the driver's side. Look, guys, the window on the passenger side will only roll down from the passenger side, not the driver's side. Occasionally, if you mess with the buttons, it will work. And then the mirrors only seem to want to go up. And I've heard that is an issue with the switch because they corrode. And I noticed there was quite a bit of corrosion in those, but let's go out there and see what we need. I think we just need a pry tool and a 10mm to get the switches out. We'll get those out. We'll knock that stuff out first and test it. That way I will know for sure whether I have an actuator issue with my door locks or if it's the actual switch. And then we will move on to the radio, I think, second. So we need to get this arm out of the way. I like to use a small flat blade screwdriver to pop it loose. And then behind that, we're gonna have some 10mm that we're gonna have to take loose as well. There's one. If you're lucky, you can take them off and they'll stay in there. So let's get this out of the way. I'm gonna try to use that same pry tool. I don't know how thick they are. And as far as, I took them off not long ago, so maybe they're a little loose. Okay, so now we need to get the actual window switch out. I may have to grab, let's unplug it first. So push our little tabs, get it unplugged, if that's even possible. Could be part of our prop. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna say it could be maybe some of our issue, but look at, I'll show you guys here in a second when I get this out. There's a ton of corrosion on the power door lock button. I don't know if that's common. I mean, look, this truck has, you know, lived a rough life, I feel like. This is not gonna work for me. This one here is a little different, but look, there is a ton, and I mean a ton of corrosion on this. I don't know, like I said, if that's why we're having an issue with our locks. It could be, but man, there's a lot. Look at all that corrosion right there. Golly, that's a lot. I'm gonna maybe get some dielectric grease maybe or something. I don't know, but we need to clean those contacts probably. All right, so as far as these go, these just clip in. So we'll see if we can get them unclipped, and you may have to just be careful. You may have to keep it to one side. I think we're about to get it. There we go. And these are shaped a little different. So this side comes in like this. So see the plugs on this side? The other one, so the passenger side, is going to be on just the opposite side. It's really, really odd. And then I've got to, at some point, get this out of place. It is fighting me. I'm not sure. It's like this this plastic piece here will not come past where it needs to. So I'll keep working on it. We'll get it eventually. That clip did not want to come loose. So let's grab it first, since we know there's only one side for it. And we're gonna plug it in. It came out, same situation, it just clips in. If you put it in the right way, that'll help. You know, from GM, so you know it's gonna fit. Got nice new switches. And then we need to take our window switches out next. Now, guys, there's you can order these new. I chose to order them off Amazon, which I'll list a description in the description, but this is a company that redoes these, I guess. And he offers a lifetime warranty on them, so I don't know that it's necessarily a bad thing. He guarantees them to work, and they're cheaper. They're like 25 bucks. I don't know. We'll give it a shot and see. And these just go right back in the same way they came out. They look nice. And then I'm going to, off camera, grab a couple brushes and clean that up before we put this other switch in. That's the passenger side. I can go ahead and put the switch in the piece of plastic here, but that makes me think there's something going down. And it may just been water coming through the, you know, somebody had the door down or something. Clip this guy in place. So we got all our switches in. Let me clean this off. We're going to plug them in, and then we'll give it a test, at least on this side. We still got to do the power, or the lock button on the other side. Here's what I'm going to use. I've got some CRC electronic cleaner, and I've got it's a brush that's really meant for it's like a copper brush, and I figured it wouldn't hurt to give this a good cleaning, clean those contacts. Maybe that was all the problem was. This stuff dries really fast though, so you don't have to worry about it, like, you know, being in the plug. Probably not a good idea to get it on your door panel though. So let's let that dry out for just a second, and we'll plug this all back in. Well, let's give it a shot here. We got power windows, or mirrors. Let's see if it will go up and down now. I'll move you guys up, see if you can see them. So we got the left side. Now they're moving. So it was a switch issue, which, like I said, let's look at the other side here. See what it does. There's down, up. Okay, so it was a switch problem on that. That's good. Let's hope it's on the same way on the door locks, but we need to plug in our mirrors. They're part of the power mirrors, the window switch, and then last but not least, our lock switch. I really think the actuators are bad, but a lot of corrosion there. Yeah, we still got nothing. But those feed through the other side, so it could potentially be that. the other switch being bad, but I have a pretty good feeling, guys. It's common for these things to, the actuators in the door to go bad, which is part of the lock mechanism, actual hinge, or the, this guy back here. So I think we'll have to replace those at some point, but either way, let's get the key and I'm gonna test the windows real quick. So let's give this new window switch a try. Okay, we worked there. And now we work on the other side. So it was a switch problem. That's good. So 2 things solved, even though I was really hoping for the locks to work, because it doesn't have a lock cylinder on the outside of the truck on the other side. So it's, I don't know. I mean, it's not a big deal to go to the driver's side and unlock it with the key, but I'd like to add keyless entry to this truck, and we can do that with a factory fob, but in order to do that, well, we need the locks to work. So I'm going to put this back in, we'll swap over to the other side, get that lock switch put in place, then we'll move on to the radio. Let's see how quick we can swap this one out. Those need repainted too. There's a bunch of stuff that we'll eventually get to, I would imagine. Well, the other one was easier. Get loose, that's for sure. Same type of corrosion on this one. It's really odd. Look at that. Let's spray that off too. I don't know that we need to brush that side. It doesn't look as bad. We will. Spray it again. I don't think it's a contact problem. I thought it may have been, but at this point, I don't know. Let's get this little lock switch out. At least we'll know when both lock switches are replaced that it's not a lock switch, I guess. And they're relatively cheap, guys. I'll list them in the description as well, but I think we're good. Same situation. Nope. Well, we tried. Let's get this put back in, and then we'll move on to the radio. I'll tell you guys, it's been a minute since I put a radio in one of these trucks, but I think we can just pry this off the dash without taking anything else out. Holy cow. I think we can sneak it out up here. Yeah, we can. And honestly, I'm not even gonna unplug anything down here. We're just gonna grab our 7mm and we're gonna take this out. So these two 7s here, actually, I take that back. We're gonna take the AC unit or the HVAC controls out first because they overlap on top of that. So we'll get the 7mm on the impact here and take this stuff out. I'm just hoping, I'm really hoping there's a module in here. I don't know, there's a wire. You never know what you're getting into with somebody else's stuff. If I'd been thinking ahead, I would have bought a USB charger, because my son, you unplug one of those things down below and you could put a USB charger in there, which is kind of nice. These are all the same size, so it doesn't matter if you mix them up. And like I said, I think we can use this piece and just take the pocket out, but we'll have to see here. I'll leave these kind of dangle down below. Oh my gosh. Hey, wire nuts. You know, those are my favorite. There's RCA's ran. And there is a amp turn on ran. That's interesting. Well, and that's good at least. So you see this piece right here. I don't know if we'll be able to use that or not. It looks like they glued stuff together. I may be able to pop it loose. I think I've got another one anyway. Oh, there we go. Pocket's loose. We just need the base is all we need. So I'm gonna go grab my other one and see what we need. I think we're gonna do. This one doesn't have the attachments I need to hook the radio to the side of it. So we're just gonna use the one that I have. Which, guys, look, here's how it kind of works. So this sets in here like this, you know, just like that one we pulled out essentially. All right, but you have to have these pieces to slide in the side. Otherwise, it won't fit. And this has been used before on other radios. Left-hand side, that'd be this side. And then right-hand side, we'll slide this one in. And then your radio screws into that, holding it, you know, flush. But we need to see what he's got going on here. This will work for our antenna adapter, so we don't need one of those. I pulled one of those out of all the stuff I have. And this guy here, it should have had chimes, but it wasn't working. Holy cow, I don't know how you got this in here. I do not like wire nut connectors. That's terrible. Ugh. We're gonna undo some of this. I'll tell you what. Oh, that's nice. He's got some zip ties in here too. I'm gonna have to cut, I think. Huh. I'd really like for this box to come out the other direction. Oh, it's half unplugged. That could be why it wasn't working. So this right here is that other piece that he had to get the buzzers to work. That could be why they didn't work. And this, we're gonna have to cut. This wire, I noticed, went down to like the fuse block. I don't know what he had going on there. I'm guessing this cheaper relay or box here didn't power up the radio, and he's grabbing power from the fuse block over there. We shouldn't have to have that. So I'm going to, we'll undo that for now. We may have to redo it. I'm gonna solder it anyway, so I'm just gonna rip it apart. I'm gonna get rid of several things here. I may leave this in case we run an amp and subs down the road. But, okay, so we've got everything we need there. Now we need to just attach our radio to the side of this new dash surround. Shouldn't be too bad. I need to take the old stuff off the side. I had it set up in another vehicle at one point. So we'll take these off and move these screws to the new radio surround. Here's the downside to this piece that I've got. The radio won't set flush in it unless I like took a Dremel or tried to, you know, change the way this opening was. I can deal with that, it being recessed just a little bit. I'd rather it set flush, but because this, I don't know if you guys can see, the panel is actually slanted, it would never set flush anyway, right? You would have a bubble in the center where it stuck out. So I guess I can live with this, to be honest with you, but I've got these attached on each side. And so now let's set it up in there and make sure it fits. And it does. That's good. Now all we need to do is, since I did all the hard work before, is we need to plug this stuff in. Should only plug in, like, see, it didn't plug in there, so it plugs in here. This one here. And then we kind of got to route this back behind the dash, make sure that we don't have any problems with fitting the radio in here. We only need 2 actual things. We're not going to mess with the power or the steering controls right now. Hear that? It's interesting. We didn't have that before. So we're not messing with anything else other than the radio itself. So I want to plug it in, plug in the antenna, plug in this, and then I've got one other thing plugged in back there, but doesn't really matter right now because that's for the steering wheel controls, which we'll get to down the road. I don't even necessarily need to plug this in right now, but I'm going to. And then make sure that they're in there. And then we're going to kind of tuck the wire in as we go back. All right. So I'm going to run at least 1 screw in each side to make sure it stays while we test it. All right. Now let's turn the key on and see if we have power. We got power. Got buzzers, but do we have sound out of the radio? We do. It's that simple. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean up this wiring. Since we know it's working, we can go ahead, turn that off. Let's run the rest of the screws in. And then I'm going to grab my cutters, and I'm going to cut that wiring off, at least that end, since this is supposed to have power going to it for an amplifier turn on. We're not doing that, at least not right now. So I'm going to cut that off and just leave it back here in case we do down the road. But this one here, I need to go over there and take it out of the fuse block and make sure that there's no power going to that spot. You guys know the OCD in me. Give it a little cleaning while I'm in here. It's got a ton of, it's been smoked in, that's for sure. This is ashes. That'll make it smell better at the same time we're cleaning it out. I'm not gonna get too crazy up here on the dash since, you know, the dash is all cracked. We're gonna have to do something with it down the road, I guess. Now, let's put this guy back into place. I like this fitment, it fits right up against that. Looks so much better with the double din. You know, down the road we'll have to put a backup camera in. Guys, if you don't have some of these brushes, I suggest getting some. They're awesome for cleaning stuff like this. Huh. I think we are good to put this back in as well. I was looking at, yeah. All right, let's see if we can get this thing back into place. I have to go in underneath first, especially down here. But then I think I can make it up all the way around. Getting there. Got this corner in. I think we're having some issues getting it under the dash. There we go. Woo, that is a close fit. You really, guys, I know I did this, you know, a little different than probably most should. Should you pull off the bottom panel, it probably would be beneficial to pull off that panel and probably make your life a little easier. It does not fit great here. It never has. That looks really good. I might take the time to clean some of this crap up off camera. At this point, we're all finished up, and honestly, guys, I traced that blue wire. I did a little vacuuming. Looks a little better. I mean, but I traced that blue wire under the hood, which is really odd. And look, this thing has remote start on it, and so I'm wondering if that's part of that setup. But anyway, there's a blue wire. I don't think this is the same one that's going into, and it may be. This may be for the remote start, and that could have been what that was about. The key fob's long gone, so it doesn't really matter. But I was also noticing, you know, there was RCAs ran, there was an amp wire, and that wire along the bottom that's zip tied, you can see there is a fuse. So at some point this thing had a stereo in it, and I think, honestly, guys, I don't know what size that wire is. It looks like an 8 gauge, which I'm generally a 4 if we're just running a single amp. But either way, we've got it a little better, right? Like I said, we're just gonna be chipping away little things at a time. This thing's filthy right now. At some point, I would really like to take the seats out and do a deep detail. I'll probably replace the carpet when I do that. It's worn through underneath. You can see that. But the radio looks a lot better, I will say. And it's gonna be more functional, no more cord to use your phone. You can just use Bluetooth. And then at least we've got the ability now to roll down the passenger side window with the new switches. I'm hoping all the lights and stuff work. I don't see why they wouldn't, but at night these lights weren't working, nor were these. I don't even know if this has lights, but obviously we were able to fix the mirror moving up and down, so we have complete functional mirrors now, in, out, up, down. And same with the passenger side window. So I think, like I said, the lock actuator is the issue that we're having with the door locks, because they are still not working. But knocked a few things out off the list, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, I'll list all the stuff that I used down in the description, and if you guys want to go pick some of that up. I really like those Pioneer radios. They seem to be cheap and efficient. Look, we're not, you know, going to any stereo competitions, obviously, but anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please, like always, smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are not subscribed, go down there, hit that subscribe button. Of course, while you're down there doing all that, ring that bell notification. That will update you every time we drop a new video, and stay tuned to see what we work on next.